Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk Headlines. I'm your host, Jay, and this is The Objective. I want to thank you guys for tuning in today. Today is a full show. It's an absolutely full show, so I want to get started. I want to get right into it. But first, I have to let you guys know that I have an Instagram account, I have an email account, and what else do I have? I have a YouTube account, and all of them are pretty much The Objective Podcast. So if you go to YouTube and search The Objective Podcast, subscribe to me, please help support the channel. And then on Instagram, it's The Objective Podcast, all one word. And then email if you want to email any questions, concerns, whatever. If you want me to address a certain topic, feel free to contact me via email at theobjectivepodcast@gmail.com. The quote for today is a Chinese proverb. I wrote this in my Black Book of Quotes on March 10th, 2013. The quote is, "The journey is the reward." The journey is the reward. I think that's very important to understand. A lot of people are always thinking about, when I get older or when I get my career, I'm going to be happy. When I do this, when I get married, I'm going to be happy. When I get into politics, I'm going to be happy. You know, we all set our goals, right? When I get my dream body, I'm going to be happy. But one thing we have to understand is that happiness doesn't come from the destination. Happiness comes from the journey to that destination, enjoying every step of the way, enjoying every single day that you're alive, working towards your goals, right? That's where you find enjoyment. That's where you find fulfillment. It's in the daily battles that you face and where you have to make decisions and you have to commit to things, discipline, and that's where happiness comes from. It's the daily struggle, to be quite honest with you guys. Anyways, let's get straight to the news. I think I've got everything. I don't think I forgot anything. The Democrats are seeking to impeach President Donald Trump. A Texas Democrat, Al Green, member of the House of Representatives, calls for the president's impeachment on the House floor. And that took place right now. It is 1:04 a.m. on the 18th of May, 2017. That took place yesterday. So what is impeachment? Let's just make sure we're all caught up here. So impeachment is the process by which a legislative body formally levels charges against a high official of government. Impeachment does not necessarily mean removal from office. It is only a formal statement of charges akin to an indictment in criminal law and is thus only the first step towards removal. This is part of the Democratic playbook. It starts to make sense now, and you're able to piece things together. You may have been wondering, whether you are a Democrat or a Republican, you may have been wondering why every time I turn on the news are these Trump stories being thrown in my face. I'm always hearing about them. What is going on? This is part of the Democratic playbook. Their end goal is to impeach President Donald Trump. But they have a problem. And this is where the problem comes in, folks. You know, before we even get into the problem, I want you guys to hear the clip. So here's the clip of the Texas Democrat Al Green on the House floor calling for the impeachment of President Donald Trump. Listen in.
I rise today, Mr. Speaker, to call for the impeachment of the President of the United States of America for obstruction of justice. I do not do this for political purposes, Mr. Speaker. I do this because I believe in the great ideals that this country stands for: liberty and justice for all. The notion that we should have government of the people, by the people, for the people. I do it because, Mr. Speaker, there is a belief in this country that no one is above the law. And that includes the President of the United States of America.
The Democrats, like I was saying before I played the clip, have one big problem. And that big problem is that in terms of legal grounds for impeachment, there are absolutely none. They would have you think that there is a pathway to impeachment that because of all of this controversy surrounding the Russians, this is grounds for impeachment. But we are yet to hear an accusation or a claim of criminality from the Democrats. There's a lot of conjecture. There's a lot of sensationalism. There's a lot of anonymous sources saying that he possibly knows someone whose relationship is a possible agent of so-and-so. It's just a lot of running around, a lot of empty words, no substantiation, no content, nothing, folks. This is smoke and mirrors. And the media, they're trying to flood the news outlets and attempt to take away from the success that the president has had. President Donald Trump, in his first 100 days, had signed 32 executive orders. 32. Let me look at some right now. 32 since, his first day in office, January 20, 2017. He, border security and immigration enforcement improvements, protecting the nation from foreign terrorist entry into the United States. Task force on crime reduction and public safety. White House initiative to promote excellence and innovation at historically black colleges and universities. These are all bills. You could actually find all 32 of them quite easily, and you could actually read through them. But there are 32 bills that center on the people of America. American business, American schools, just American people. But a lot of us haven't heard of any of these because the media is too busy cluttering the airways with emptiness. And here's the thing, the media is very hyper reactive when it comes to Trump. They magnify his mistakes. And here's the thing, President Trump is not helping himself. He's actually hurting himself because he is also reactive when it comes to injury and insult. And that's why the media and the left is able to play him into their hands. For example, whenever President Trump tweets, the media and the left is saying Trump needs to stop tweeting. Trump needs to get off of Twitter. It's not presidential. But then just today, I'm just pulling up the article on my phone. I was looking on CNN. Okay, this one is from Cillizza. That's CILLIZZA, or for those of you in America, ZZA. Trump's silence on Twitter about Comey is deafening. So now they're saying you're not tweeting enough. Like, damned if you do, damned if you don't, essentially. So they're very hyper reactive. They're egging him on, and he takes the bait. Because at the end of the day, folks, he's a human, right? And I try to put myself in his position with that level of scrutiny. And to be honest with you, it seems like it doesn't get to him, but he is a human being, and he will, how can I say this? He will clap back. He'll respond. And a lot of people say that that's not presidential. That's Trump, and that came with the package. So one thing is that's funny with the hyper reactive media is that they don't, the media and the Democrat, I understand this. I use the media and the Democrats interchangeably because left-wing media is literally just an activist group from the left. They are basically promoting the left agenda. It's simple to say, it's easy to say. Liberals, I have liberal friends, Democratic friends that are fully aware that the media is doing this. And they don't hold their own candidates to the same measure of integrity. I'm sure you can think of a candidate. Her name rhymes with Hillary. But it's very imperative for the media to keep this hysteria going. Why? This is why. Because they've labeled Trump already as Hitler-esque. They've labeled him as a Nazi, as a racist, as a bigot, as a misogynist. Therefore, if they let off on the gas, they start to look spineless. And when they throw around words like racism as a general definition / adjective for white people that they don't like, they devalue the word and they don't do justice to their forefathers. Because when the word racism is just thrown around and everyone's a racist, people that I don't like are racist, people who don't treat me well are racist, people who, when you start doing that, you create a straw man and you're not able to get to the root issue. You're not able to develop in your mind. You're not able to critically think, because everything you plaster on, oh, it's racism. Oh, I didn't get that job. It's racism. Oh, he didn't open the door for me. It's racism. Oh, my teacher didn't give me 100% on my test. It's racism. You limit yourself, and you cheat yourself when you follow the left in their characterization of what a racist is. They devalue the victims. They devalue the potency and power behind that word. So essentially what I'm saying is that this hysteria in the media, it will not stop until Trump is impeached. And it's getting so bad, folks. Like, foreign countries are looking from the outside. They're on the outside looking in, and they're seeing America literally eat itself from the inside out. And it just came out that China, they have a word for what they call the white left. It's spelled Baizuo, Baizu. You guys already know when it comes to me and pronunciation, I have my issues, but you guys can pronounce that how you see fit. So I was reading an article. It says, although the emphasis varies, Baizuo is used generally to describe those who only care about topics such as immigration, minorities, LGBT, and the environment, and have no sense of the real problems in the world. There are hypocritical humanitarians who advocate for peace and equality only to satisfy their own feelings of moral superiority. They are obsessed with political correctness to the extent that they tolerate backwards Islamic values for the sake of multiculturalism. They believe in the welfare state that benefits only the idle and free riders. They are the ignorant and arrogant Westerners who pity the rest of the world and think they are saviors. Very potent words from China. And this is a view that is shared by a number of countries. Very potent words and telling words from China. It just goes to show that when America is divided, when the West is divided ideologically, like to this extent, where we're eating our own, we're killing our own, there's no sense of patriotism and solidarity between Americans. It's embarrassing. And so moving on in other news, I know I'm running out of time here. A special counsel has been established for the Russia probe. Former FBI Director Robert Mueller was appointed by the DOJ to oversee the Russia probe. Now, there are pros and there are cons. Here are some pros. Mueller is widely respected by both Democrats and Republicans. He is known to be impartial. This is something that's very rare. Very rarely do the left and right agree or have a mutual understanding on something. This is one of those mutual understandings. So this is rare. It's a pro. This is good. It's good because we can trust in this man to get to the bottom of this whole Russia shenanigans. The con is that I believe this is me being subjective. Forgive me for being subjective on the objective. The con is that this is a waste of taxpayer money for a result that both the Democrats and Republicans already know the outcome. This is smoke and mirrors. I already bet my truck to one of my coworkers that nothing is going to come out of this investigation. Nothing. Moving on, folks, we're almost done here. Seth Rich. His name may be familiar to you. I strongly suggest and encourage you to Google Seth Rich. It's a very intriguing story. And there are some conspiracy theorists that are pulling, they're making assumptions, right? So there was a DNC staffer who was mysteriously, quote unquote, killed. He was shot in the back twice, and it was deemed a failed robbery. The thing about the robbery is that he had all of his belongings and his possessions. Nothing was missing. He was just shot in the back. So this is where the case is a little shifty, right? It doesn't look like a robbery. It looks like a murder. He was shot twice in the back. So a private investigator was hired, and it appears that this PI had found over 50, or I believe nearly 50,000 hacked emails that were sent to a WikiLeaks source. So what the conspiracists and critics are saying is that this guy, Seth Rich, bless his soul, was the source of the DNC leak and not the Russians. And all of this Russian probe is a big cover up. Now, obviously, this is not substantiated. This can't be proven, at least with the facts and information that we have in the public domain. But it definitely makes you think. Take what I said into consideration about the media and how there will be a consistent and constant state of hysteria for the duration of President Trump's presidency, whether he gets another term or what. And they are not going to let up until their whole playbook is open and shown for the world to see, both liberals, Democrats, and Republicans, until everyone can see the dishonesty and the strategy behind the left. This is going to continuously go. So I have a lot of content that's good for me. Well, that's all for tonight, folks. I thank you for listening in. I understand there were quite a bit of stories that I have in there, so feel free to listen again if you missed something or if it seemed a little confusing. But may it be your objective. May it be my objective. May it be our objective to be objective. Thank you and have a good night.